back to a new video. In today's video I have been sent some epoxy resin from Let's Resin. So I've never used this kind of, I have used UV resin, but I've never used curable 2-part resin. So this is going to be exciting. Oh, I'm so excited. They sent me some chameleon powders, a silicone jar mold, and the actual resin that you need to create whatever it is you want to create. This is the epoxy resin. It comes in a 1:1 ratio, and you get 2 bottles of 250 mils of part A, and the other one's part B. Inside the chameleon powders you get, if you're going to open your box with a craft knife, do be careful. You get 10 colours. These can also be used on nails. So I thought what I'd do is, for those of you who are more interested in nails than epoxy resin, I thought I would swatch them and you can see what they look like on black and on white gel polish. So this is them done. I'm going to go through the different colours with you. So this is magenta on white and then black, and then this is golden on white and black. This one is mint on white and black. Then this one is galaxy. This one looks totally different. It's not how I would expect that to look like. Then we've got champagne on white and then on black. Plum on white and black. The black of plum looks really nice. Blue on white and black. Look at the blues. I love the blues. And the teals. Teals on white and black. Then this is olive on white and black. It looks well nice on white. And then grape is the last one. I also really like grape. Oh, I used that one today. Inside the box is our mold. They do other silicone molds that you can have a look at. They do coasters and like crescent moon things with, I can't even remember now. But inside the box you get a resin molds manual. I can't remember seeing that. I obviously did see it, but I don't know where I put it, which is a bit annoying. This is the mold. So it's called, is it called a pudding jar? I'm not sure, but the mold has a lid and it has a bottom. Oh, I can hear thunder. And it's also got like a thread, so you can actually screw the lid on. Can you hear the thunder? Ooh. Okay, so inside the box where the epoxy lives, you get 2 little silicone tumblers, which is great, because I thought I was going to have to buy some plastic ones and throw loads away, but no. You get these 2 silicone tumblers. Pipettes. I think you get 5 pipettes, and then there's gloves as well. You get 2 pairs of gloves in here. I think they're gloves. I never actually opened them because I've got my own gloves. So this is the epoxy resin. You've got a part A and a part B. They're both 250 mils, so 500 mils total, obviously. You get your 2 gloves. I'm assuming they're gloves. They must be gloves. 5 pipettes, and I believe you get 10 wooden lolly sticks. These were very handy. And then there is another leaflet and a manual, which I kind of read. I did read. So when you're doing this, it says to wipe the inside of the tumbler with some rubbing alcohol. So I use isopropyl alcohol, so I just sprayed it and then wiped it with a wipe. I'm going to use Winter Thistle glitter from Nail Sugar. That's a discontinued one that I've kept. And I'm also going to use, I think I used the grape chameleon powder for this. Now when you're doing this, make sure you wear gloves and a mask, and make sure that the wherever you're working is well ventilated. So I had my windows wide open, and I've obviously got my gloves on. And although it is a low odour and it doesn't smell, but I think it will still obviously let off some kind of, I don't know, but it's, yeah, just make sure that you are careful. And it also did suggest that you put it in a bath for 10 minutes before you use it. I didn't do that because it's quite warm. So my first jar, I put 40 mils of, was it A? So then I need to put 40 mils of B to make 80 mils of resin. And in the other jar, I put 50 mils of A, so now I need to put 50 mils of B. I had way too much. Well, I think I ended up with about 20 mils too much. So maybe a little bit more actually. So I think you only really need 160 mil, if I've worked that out right. I'm trying to think now. Right, if you look, it's got, you can see the little swirls in it. You need to mix it slowly for 3 minutes until you can't see those little swirls in it. I mixed it a little bit too fast. I think the slower you mix it, the less likely you are to get bubbles in it. But that's, yeah, anyway, I'm going to mix that and the other one, okay? Then I'm going to put, that does say grape. Yes, this one was gorgeous. It's sort of like a purpley blue. So I'm going to just grab my cuticle pusher, I'm going to use it as a little scoop. And I'm just going to throw some in. I mean, I didn't know at this point how much I was supposed to use, but this was loads. It was fine. It was great. I'm going to mix it in. And what do I do on the other one? The other one, oh yeah, I put the glitter in the other one. So Winter Thistle is actually a discontinued glitter. There's loads of bubbles in here, but they do disappear. They kind of come to the surface and pop. Most of them anyway, the majority of them. So like, I thought I'll just use a little bit, and then I ended up throwing the whole bag in. That's about 5 grams of glitter I put in that. I'm going to give that a good stir in. Then you really need a heat gun for this, because look, there's just too much air coming out. I'm using the hairdryer. The heat gets rid of the bubbles. It helps the bubbles come to the surface and pop. But doing that, it just makes the silicone like spray everywhere. But it's my own fault. I couldn't be bothered to get my heat gun out. I don't know where it is. And I couldn't be bothered to look for it. So I was like, I know, I'll use my hairdryer. I think it would be all right if it was on a bigger, but because it's in such a small tumbler, it just kind of wanted to go everywhere. Anyway, this is the best part. So I decided to pour a little bit of the chameleon mix and then a little bit of the glitter mix. And then I kept doing that. It kind of ended up just mixing all in anyway. Look how gorgeous this isn't. Look gorgeous. Oh, look, more gorgeous. Oh, look, more gorgeous. It was just the best thing, this was. I had so much fun making these. I'm desperate to get some more epoxy resin, but I can't afford it at the moment. But I really, really want to get some more. So I'm just going to carry on doing this until we get to the bottom. And then you just kind of, obviously, you just want to stop when it's kind of level with the top of the bottom of the jar. So the only thing is you have to remember that if you put in anything heavy in, so like the bigger bits of glitter are going to kind of fall to the bottom. So you do have to bear that in mind. I'm going to leave that there to start to cure because I've finished with that now. Now I'm just going to do the lid. So I don't know why I put more chameleon powder in. I really don't know why I done that. And then I thought, oh, I've mixed it. There's going to be more bubbles in it. I'm going to just hit it with the hairdryer. Then I thought I would throw in some little gold snowflakes because it just reminded me of Christmas. So, can you hear this? Thunder. Ooh, I love it. My mum will be over the moon that this is, yeah. We've been moaning that we haven't had a thunderstorm for ages. So again, I'm just doing it in, I don't know, I just thought I'd do it randomly, but iMovie just crashed on me, so I've got to start the voiceover again from here. This was me just putting those little metallic snowflakes in. I can't even remember where I got the snowflakes. It was probably somewhere like Shein or AliExpress. But I thought they would make it look Christmassy, maybe, even though it's August. I was just getting kind of wintry vibes from the resin and the glitter. And the glitter was called Winter Thistle, so I was like, oh, I could throw in some little snowflakes. So I did have to push them in under the resin because I wanted the top to be nice and smooth. And as I did that, they did kind of want to sink. And when you take the lid off, you do see them better underneath the lid than what you do on the top, but you do still see them on the top. It's not like you don't see them at all. But yeah, I'm just going to let you watch this and then we can get to the next bit. Right, these molds I got when I bought some UV resin for doing some nail art, and because I had the resin left over, I didn't want to waste it, so I tried to fill these molds up with some of the resin. I still ended up with loads of resin left over not loads, it was probably about 20 mils worth of resin left over in the tumblers, or one tumbler, but I ended up with a nice surprise afterwards. I'm going to leave all of these to start to cure. You can, I can't remember what I've said because iMovie crashed, you can demold everything after 8 hours. It says demold time 8 to 24 hours, so depending on the size of your project, I guess the smaller they are, the quicker you can demold them. These are the little like pendant things. It's raining. I love the rain. This was the like tear-shaped one. I was just trying to show you. I just think that glitter looks really nice with the chameleon powder, and it's almost kind of see-through. Oh, it looks so pretty. Love it. Come on though, Nats, let's get on with it. Let's grab the next one. This is the round one. There we are. Very pretty indeed. Right, let's get onto the jar. Oh, before we do the jar, this is what came out of the tumbler. Now, when I took it out, it felt really smooth to touch under here. It felt really smooth. You know, people buy those, you know, if you're a bit of a fidget, you buy things, like you can rub things. Well, I thought it would be really nice to just sit and rub. You know, people get, you know, if they get anxious, they like to fidget. Well, this, oh, it was so nice. Can you hear the thunder? You might not be able to hear it. Right. This, if you notice, is still flexible. That is because at this point I got impatient, and I think it had been about 8 hours, probably just over, and I was like, I really want to demold it. So it will still be a bit flexible, but the longer that you leave it to cure, obviously the harder it's going to become. And can you see what I mean? The glitter, with the glitter, the bigger bits of glitter fell to the bottom of the mold, which meant they would be at the top of the jar. But doesn't it look amazing? I was like, is my light on properly? Can you see this? Can you see this? It's so nice. Look at the chameleon powder as well. Oh, I could just look at that all day. It got a bit like that, actually. It's just like you. Oh, this is the lid. The lid is so good as well. Look inside the lid. Hang on. Pop. Look at that. Isn't that just absolutely gorgeous? I love it. And then that literally just screws on because the mold has got a thread in it and everything. So it's like a proper screw lid jar. It's amazing. And you know what? I was really thrilled. For my first one, oh yeah, this bottom bit was a little bit sharp. So I did take my craft knife and just carefully scraped off some of the sharper bits because I didn't want to, you know, we don't want to hurt ourselves. But yeah, for my first jar, I was super pleased with how this turned out. Definitely a wintry feel to it. I love it. Right, the next one. So this was the next day and I was like, I was desperate to do another one. So this time I'm going to use the blue chameleon powder and the teal chameleon powder. And we're going to do like a... Oh, I just love it. I love the thunder. Shut up, Nats. They all know that by now. These shells I got from Shein and I love those banded ones. I love them so much. And these I got from AliExpress yonks ago. I had ideas for these. Actually, it did involve epoxy resin, but I never got around to it. And this is the Ice and Fire Mylar from Nail Sugar, which is now discontinued. I've just got a box of discontinued stuff that I've kept to one side for this very occasion. This time I only mixed up 70 mils in one tumbler and 70 in the other, so 35 of each, because I didn't want to waste it. I say that and I still wasted some, which is really annoying. I need to get myself another mould of some sort, so that if I do end up with some left over, I can just use that other mould of some sort just to fill up the, you know, the overflow of resin or whatever. This is me adding some blue. I then added some more blue and I mixed it in again, and then I decided, yes, I was going to add some more blue. I added loads of blue. Also, yes, I am working on a puppy pad. Obviously it's a clean brand new puppy pad. I just didn't want to get my desk dirty, so I thought, you know, the puppy pads will do great. So this one is going to be my teal one, and this is the mylar going in. I didn't want to add as much as I did the glitter from the previous one. I just wanted like this to add a little bit of sparkle, sorry. And then we can start to pour. So if you're thinking about the sea, remember that the ocean is, well, as long as you're in one of those countries where the ocean looks incredibly clean and gorgeous, it's going to look teal on top, and then the darker you go down, no, the deeper you go down, the darker the ocean's going to get. So I put my teal in first because that will be the top of the jar. I'm not quite sure what I was doing there. And then I will start to put the blue in, because the bottom of the jar will be like the bottom of the ocean. You get where I'm coming from now? We're thinking backwards. So this is me, and I was kind of hoping they wouldn't mix in too much, because I wanted you to see, you know, I wanted you to be able to see that one was teal, and then I kind of wanted them to blend, and then the bottom. These were the little gemstones. I went a little bit mad at this point. I was just kind of like throwing everything in. So I thought we'd shove some shells down the side. Now some shells did fall to the bottom. Oops, I've got it right here. Some shells did fall to the bottom, and they are a little bit more easier to see from the inside of the jar, which was a little bit annoying. But I think probably I put in too much chameleon powder, truth be told. But the bubbles, the kind of like little beady, these little beady gemstones look really cool, because they really make it look like there's bubbles in there. But yeah, I mean, this was like my second one, and I wanted to experiment. At this point I'd have probably got loads more done, but I've run out of resin. I don't know if I'm going to have enough resin to do another jar. I'm not sure. I really want to get some more, but I can't afford it yet. I can't justify it, really. Oh, I'm terrible. So yeah, so I'm just throwing in some shells and some of those little gemstones, and then I'm going to top it up. What was I going to say? There was something I was going to say then, and I've forgotten what it was. Oh yeah, so some of the shells, I might be repeating myself, I can't remember. Because the shells are hollow, I don't think that some of the shells filled up with epoxy resin, because they kept wanting to float to the top of the jar. Well, it would be the bottom of the jar because it's upside down, the mould's upside down. So I kept kind of having to push them back in with my wood stick. And then it got to the point where I thought, I can't sit here and keep poking them in every time they come out, because once the resin starts to cure, it's going to go kind of like sticky and it's not going to settle properly. So I decided to just leave it, and then once I demolded it and it had kind of properly cured, I did just file the shells on the bottom just so that the jar stood nice and flat on the surface, you know. So right, what's this? Okay, that's done. Oh yeah, I thought if I zapped it with my hairdryer, might get some of the bubbles out. This one did have more bubbles in than the first one, so I'm going to move that out of the way, and then we can work on the lid. This is where I was like, I haven't got enough resin, so I ended up pouring some more. I'm not quite sure how much I poured at this point, because I didn't move the camera down so we could see. But 2 parts, same ratio of each. I think I put in some, oh no, right, yeah, I'm going to stir it for 3 minutes. And then I put in the ice and fire mylar, just a little bit, not too much. And then I added my teal chameleon powder. And then I just started to throw it in. This is, oh, it's so satisfying to do this. Okay. I then had to use the blue because I had a lot of blue left. This was me trying to get some bubbles out. I think, however, I probably ended up making more bubbles than popping them. Alright, yeah, these are some other gemstones that I got from AliExpress ages ago. I thought I would add them to the top because they will cure into the resin. So I added some of the little bubbly ones and some of those bigger ones. I also had some like minty green gemstones that I thought might look quite nice on top. And some, yeah, I thought don't forget the shells. So I grabbed 3 shells because I thought they would look quite nice. I thought 3 was plenty. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more resin. Maybe a couple more stones. That's probably why this jar feels a lot heavier than the other one. Actually, it doesn't feel that much heavier, to be honest. Or maybe a little bit, but not much. Anyway, right, I'm going to leave those now. Yeah, that's what I was left over with. Oh, that was a bit annoying. Anyway, as you can see, it's still a bit flexible, but the longer you leave it, the harder it will become. I'm going to do the lid first. This has got to be like the best part. If it comes out. So look, can you see like how it looks like bubbles? I thought that was really cool. So that is the lid. That was the bubble there, and then there was a couple more of those around the edge. I think that might have been me poking the wood stick inside. I don't know. But that was, I'm sure it was my fault. So those are the shells that had popped out. So I will go over those and just give them a little file. I do that actually with my e-file. It was just a lot quicker. And look, I was just like, I was so pleased. I was like, oh my goodness, this is just amazing. And then you can see how those little stones just make it look like bubbles. And the chameleon powder did cover up the shells a little bit on the outside of the jar, but you can really see them on the inside. Not that you're going to see the inside of the jar, but maybe in hindsight I probably wouldn't put the shells on the body part of the jar. Maybe I would have just put them on the lid for the next one, but I was still really pleased with how it turned out. I loved it. I do have discount codes depending on well, I've got links for Canada for Let's Resin Canada, Let's Resin USA, and Let's Resin UK, which I will link below. I do think I have a 10% off discount code for Let's Resin Canada, but I'll leave the links and any codes that I have down below. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like. If you haven't already, do consider subscribing. You can also become a channel member. I'm just going to show you here some photos of the jars finished. I was super thrilled with them. Thank you to Let's Resin for sending me these to try. I've really enjoyed it. God bless, love you all, and I will see you in the next one. Love you, bye.